this video, we're going to be reviewing the WWE Elite Series 118 Tama Tonga, Solo Sakoa, and Tonga Loa figure. We have the new Bloodline featured right here, all in the same wave. We did review Jacob Fatu yesterday, and we will do a comparison shot with these in this video. And you probably already saw them in the Jacob Fatu video, but we are going to unbox these guys, see what they're all about, and break down 3 figures in one video for you. And then at the end, we might could rank Elite Series 118 from worst to best, because I don't think I'm going to do a standalone Nia Jax review, but you will be able to see her in this video. So if you guys are interested in that, we'll rank the full set at the end of the video. Should be a fun one. But Tama Tonga, Solo Sakoa, and Tonga Loa, honestly, really a dream that we have Tama Tonga here in official Mattel Elite form, all 6-head and all. But I'm serious, if you would have told me back in the day we were going to get an official Tama Tonga Elite, I would have thought you were insane, man. I mean, I plugged this guy in my Fed years ago, had customs made of him and storylines and stuff like that, and now he is officially in WWE, and we have his first Elite here that I'm excited to get into, and we'll do a comparison to that custom figure in this video. I never had a Tonga Loa made, but we will get into all the different stuff here, man. But if you want to get these guys, you can do so over at Ringside Collectibles. Use promo code MDTOYS to save yourselves 10%. Save some money for yourselves over there. I greatly appreciate it. Use code MDTOYS. Always appreciate the support as always. But here we go, man. Let's take a front shot of each figure. We do have Solo Sakoa in his cosplay as the Weeknd, but you have a shot of Solo, and then you have a shot of Solo on the back there with the red jacket, looking pretty good. And then we also have Tama Tonga over here, man, and my god, that forehead, man. He has a long forehead. Now, I will say, I do plan on picking up a couple of these because I think on surgery, I'm going to try to Dremel it down and make a long-haired version, you know? Kind of that throwback Tama Tonga, and just see if we can make it happen without the updated hair that he wears in 2025. But man, they did this guy dirty. I'm already ready for the next Tama Tonga head sculpt, but you get a shot of him there, and then we do have a shot of him on the back with his crazed eyes and everything, with the rest of the figures in the wave there. But there's Solo, there's Tama Tonga, and then we have Tua Tonga Loa. I mean, you can't tell me, dude. Look at that head sculpt. That looks like a mixture of a Big E Elite and Tua Tonga Loa. Roll Tide, but yeah, I think it kind of looks like Tua. It's kind of crazy, but we do have Tonga Loa. Another crazy thing is he comes with bigger shoulders and arms that Jacob Fatu didn't get. So, and I mean, Tama Tonga, I think, could use bigger arms. Hell, even Solo Sakoa could use bigger arms. Maybe not in this attire, but his other figures deserve these arms and shoulders probably. But nonetheless, man, do have Tonga Loa there and then Tonga Loa there. So it's all good. It's all good. We're going to unbox these 3 guys, find out what the new Bloodline is all about, and we are going to see how they fit into our collections. That being said, let's crack the new Bloodline out of their packaging and find out what Elite Series 118, Tama Tonga, Solo Sakoa, and Tonga Loa are all about. So here we have Solo, Tonga Loa, and Tama Tonga all out of the packaging, man. And I like some aspects of these figures. We're going to, of course, break it all down for you, take you through all 3 members here of the Bloodline, do some comparisons with Jacob Fatu. I really hate even calling them the Bloodline because to me, I never acknowledged Solo Sakoa, brother. I wasn't ever acknowledging this new Bloodline, man. I wasn't a believer, and I know that was kind of the whole deal anyway. But I'm excited to dive into these, see what they're all about. I'm still thinking it's crazy that we have Tama Tonga right here, but is he that good? Man, we're going to rank Elite Series 118 from worst to best at the very end, including Nia Jax, including Collector's Edition John Cena, and it should be a fun one as we rank everything, man. But nonetheless, let's get into it, man. Let's start off with Solo Sakoa's accessories, then we'll get into Solo, we'll move on to Tama Tonga, and then we'll move on to Tonga Loa, and then we will rank Elite Series 118 from worst to best. Alright, man, we are getting into Solo Sakoa's accessories, and he comes with a decent amount right here for an Elite figure, and we're starting things off with his suit jacket here, and I want to say the suit jacket that he wore in real life, I don't know if it was like a velvet or like a silky, I want to say it was kind of like a velvety material or velvet material, I don't know, but this is like a felt material. It reminds me a lot of the Network Spotlight Triple H from back in the day, the Toys R Us exclusive. If you guys remember that figure or have that figure, that is the material they're using here, and I do not like it. I don't like the way it looks, but I will say it is cloth goods, so can we really complain? I kind of wish that it was the same material that we have seen on the other suit jackets from Mattel, like the Muhammad Ali one from that 5-pack Mattel, or that 4-pack from Mattel Creations, or the Evolution 3-pack, like the suited jacket that came with the Triple H, would probably be a little bit better in terms of the material. I just don't like this felty-ish material. I don't know what it is, but the collar right here, this is in like a light black color, which we're used to seeing, kind of like that t-shirt material. I don't know, the felty kind of like grabs your skin. I don't know, I don't like it really, but, you know, it's cloth goods, so it's better than, you know, I mean, I guess they could have put a rubber piece and then have a jacket arms, which would probably be better, but he took his jacket off a lot, I guess, so that's probably what they were going for. but I don't know. It's still cloth goods. And then he does come with Roman Reigns' Ulafala. You know, this was not rightfully his, and that's why the Tribal Chief showed up and took him out on the Netflix debut of Monday Night Raw. But we do get another one of these. We've seen these multiple times over the years. And then I'm pretty sure these are brand new hands. These mic holding glove hands with the little strap on them. I want to say these are completely new. We may have seen these in the LWO 5-pack between Joaquin Wilde or... I can't remember if this is the same. I want to say this is new, though. This does look new to me, but it's pretty cool. I like these. You may be able to put these on a Seth Rollins or a Hollywood Hogan or something like that if you wanted to, but I do like these. And I think I don't think these came with like a Fiend figure or Bray Wyatt, but it does look like that's supposed to be skin tone right there, but I think they were fully black for Solo, so I don't really know. There's something there. There's definitely something there. And then they do have the We the One hands. And I will say, I do like that they have this new glove sculpt instead of just painting hands black or taking the regular skin hands and then painting them black. This is a lot more detail. You get the holes, you get the sculpts and the straps and stuff, which I think is a lot better. And I just like having gloved hands. I think it is just something to have that's nice. I think that's way better than just painting the regular hands in a different tone. So we are getting into Solo Sikoa's Elite 118 figure from the top of the head sculpt. Pretty interesting thing about Solo Sikoa is I'm pretty sure every figure he has gotten has had a brand new head sculpt with it. So the Elite 104, the Elite 107, I mean, not the top picks. The top picks was a repaint of the Elite 107, I'm pretty sure. But then you had the Ultimate with 3 new head sculpts, and then we do get this one. I don't think we've seen this head sculpt before, but it's not bad. I think it does look like Solo. He's kind of making like barely gritting head sculpt there, but you have that mohawk there. Looks pretty good. The beard looks good, all those different things. I do like this torso for specific reasons, right? I do think that I don't know if this is the exact same torso we are seeing with the Ted DiBiase Build-A-Figure in the Monday Night Wars set, or the Triple H in the 3-pack with the Awesome Truth that's coming soon. I don't know if this is the same torso by, just looking at it right now. I haven't updated the encyclopedia of the wrestling action figures from Mattel in my brain just yet, but pretty sure we've seen these sleeves before, these arms, but this torso does look pretty good. It's the black long sleeve button down, things like that. I think that looks pretty good for the most part. Spinning it around to the back here. And, this is probably the way that they should have done it with the cloth jacket, but I will say you could have done this torso with a rubber jacket mold, like the red jacket over it, and then done, the red sleeves and arms and shoulders to simulate a jacket look, if you will, similar to what we've seen with many, many Build-A-Figures over the years. They could have done something like that, but not bad. I like that they tried something a little different here. You do have the red belt, got the god-awful, just horrendous Muhammad Ali legs. And what makes it horrendous, man, is look at this right here. If you step back, look at this figure. Can you tell me what's wrong with this figure just standing here? Are you noticing something? That he's leaning to the right, like he's leaning this way, or to the left, his left, our right. He is leaning, and it's because of these god-awful Muhammad Ali legs that just are not good, man. They need to retire these pants or give us a new sculpt. The Muhammad Ali legs are the new John Cena shoe mold. They're the new, I hate them so much but they're actually worse if you think about it, because they completely ruin a figure because of how stiff they are. They're super stiff, and they don't want to articulate, and they make the figure similar to a basic. I mean, that's what it makes the legs feel like to me. I cannot stand the leg mold. We've seen it many times so far since they implemented it. We've seen it a lot of times, and I can't name a single figure that I love to pose around that has these legs, because it doesn't exist, because these legs are so bad. They're just not good. But as far as articulation, he can look down a decent bit. He can actually look up quite a bit too, and you get a little bit of head pivoting, so that's something that you love to see. It is just a regular head joint, like a ball joint that we've seen from Mattel. Really want to see a ball hinge. I'm still putting out, my Sage and trying to collect the 7 Dragon Balls to wish upon a star and get the damn ball hinge implemented. But Ab Crunch is, it's not the worst I've ever seen, but yeah, I mean, I guess for a suited figure, it gets the job done there. You do get full rotation here, bicep cut, double jointed arms, which are beautiful. You get the wrist hinge and swivel, which is great. You do get waist swivel there, and then he can kick up pretty decently, which is good about the Muhammad Ali legs. At least it's not Nia Jax, which we'll get into later on in this video. I'll showcase that, but he can go out to the side as well. You get upper thigh cut. You get a very stiff double jointed knee because it is Muhammad Ali legs, and then the feet can barely move because of Muhammad Ali legs, but you do get a decent little ankle rocker right there. They just can't go up and down, which, it is what it is, but damn, man, I cannot stand how the way they lean. Golly. Nonetheless, let's get into some Solo Sikoa figure comparisons. And not that I'm some Solo Sikoa connoisseur and I just love everything about Solo Sikoa. He's not one of my favorite talents or something like that, but my God, man, they have not made a good Solo Sikoa yet. If I were to pick one of these figures, it would be the Ultimate Edition, and that came in as the worst Ultimate so far for me this year. So that just that kind of tells you where we're at here with Solo. I think the formula is not good. I think they always give him small shoulders and arms. They now give him Muhammad Ali legs. He just does not have a good track record. You know, we talk about batting 1,000 on good figures. This man's batting 1,000 on not very good figures. This one was way too skinny, and I can't stand the skinny legs, and they have kept that across the board. He switches to kick pads. They don't change anything. They give him Johnny Gargano syndrome. Then he gets a new updated look in the weekend outfit, and they gave Muhammad Ali legs. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, these two could have a fight to the death on who the better figure is, and they probably would both just fall in the grenade, you know what I'm saying? But that does it for your Solo Sikoa figure comparisons. And then for another comparison, here's the Ultimate Edition Roman Reigns WrestleMania 41 custom fix-up here that looks pretty good. I think these scale pretty well together. Solo is supposed to be 6'2". I think Roman's 6'3", 6'4". I think these look pretty alright up next to each other. And then for your new Bloodline figure comparisons, we do have Tama Tonga, Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. All from Elite Series 118, just kind of showing them up here. And I look forward to ranking this wave. And then for Tama Tonga's accessory, we do get an entrance gear or a bulletproof style entrance vest, and then we do get a couple pairs of interchangeable hands. And this is a newly sculpted vest. You can see the color on the front right there. Kind of resembles a Black Widow or what have you. You have the stripes down the side. Pretty cool sculpts going on. You get the same paint on the back, and it does clasp in the front here. So you have these little ports right here, and you can, unplug that, put it on the figure, and then port it back in to secure that. And I do believe this is all brand new. And Tonga Loa's is also brand new, so they are not the same, just painted differently. They do have a different design altogether, so that's pretty cool here. And maybe we'll see a multi-pack. I don't know when the next time we'll get a Tama Tonga or a Tonga Loa figure. I know we are getting a couple basics down the line, but this is still pretty cool to see. And then we do get a pair of mic holding hands for our Tama Tonga figure, something we've seen forever. And then we get a pair of We the One hands or pointer fingers as well, so you can put that on the right or left, but he doesn't even come with a pair of fists, just a couple pair of interchangeable hands. And now we're getting into the Elite 118 Tama Tonga, and I don't think they did this man any favors with his forehead, man. I mean, this guy has a just dome on this man. He has a massive cranium here, and I think it's not only the size of the forehead, I think they also just made his eyes too small. So the small eyes combined with the big forehead, it's obviously not a good look together, but, you know, spinning it around, he does have his mohawk there with the beard and everything. I think the likeness is pretty solid. I think it does look like Tama Tonga, but if you're like me, man, I mean, I remember when just people had to customize this guy over and over. I even had my own custom of him, you know, figure collectors alike, having to make their own Tama Tongas because I never thought we'd ever get one for real from Mattel, but here we are. And is it that great? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they missed big on a lot of parts of this figure, not including the head sculpt. I feel like the formula is a bit and we'll get into that as well as we break it all down here. 6 feet 220. I feel like they gave him too small of shoulders, too small of arms. I think this torso's fine. You know, the Austin Theory torso I think works fine for Tama Tonga. I think the Mizdow torso could have worked as well. And then they did give him that same crotch piece that we got on the Tonga Loa, which I like. I'm fine with that, but they made him have a very loose waist. So I guess this crotch doesn't fit this torso very well because it has created this, and also my ab crunch is a bit loose as well when coming forward there. So that is a bit bummy. And then they did give him these super tiny legs, man. They gave him super tiny legs. I think that he could have used bigger thighs and legs as well. I think Elite 56 Carl Anderson, those legs, I think those are like the Elite Cody Rhodes legs from back in the day. And I think he is on ball joints, so we'll probably try our hand at trying to fix this guy up in some way. I'm definitely going to be getting multiples of these for customs and stuff like that, but let's finish off this and then we'll get into the articulation and talk about some of that other stuff here. But he does have the red coming down the side paneling, which I do like. Got a little paint chipping there on that side, but yeah, it's just some red paneling and stuff, and then he just has standard boots. And then I think Vietnam, we do have two different, I don't know if this is two, I'm not sure if this is two right boots or if this is just two right feet, but you'll see here that I do have two right feet on this figure here, so I do need to switch out that boot, I guess. But look at that, he's already facing the other way. But I don't know, standing back, it doesn't look that bad. I just think that when we get into the comparisons, I'll kind of showcase what I'm talking about, and we'll break it all down here. But articulation-wise, he can't look down that much because of the beard, but it's, you know, it's fair, I guess. He can look up not so much because of his hair. And then head pivoting, he does get a little bit of head pivoting, so that's good. I just, oh man, that forehead is just crazy. But his front ab crunch is not great. He also has a very loose waist for the most part there. You do get, you know, all this is same standard stuff. Double jointed arms and the wrist hinge and swivel, as we like to know. I just think these arms and shoulders are too small. Look at his arms and shoulders in the background. Look at those arms and shoulders, and then look at this. It's not a good representation, man. He has pretty big arms and shoulders. Crazy as hell. And then for the legs. He can kick forward pretty good there. He can kick out to the side. You get the upper thigh cut, and also his knees are very stiff because he is on pinless legs there, and then he does have boot swivel, and then he does have the ankle rocker, and they do go up and down there with the new boots there, but he does have 2 right boots, so I got to fix that, of course, but damn QC issues, hate to see it. I think, similar to Jacob Fatu, I just think this guy could be so much better, man. I really do. I think he could be so much better than what we're seeing here for Tama Tonga, but thing is, you switch out his arms or whatever, then his tattoo won't be on there, so that's kind of annoying, but let's get into some Tama Tonga figure comparisons. And for our first comparison, we do have my custom Tama Tonga from back in the day. I just used, I think, an Usos head sculpt and then sculpted. I had a BEW put like a Roman Reigns hair piece and sculpted it together, and then he also sculpted a beard on there and put the tie in it and painted the face. It looks really good. I think it's a pretty nice custom, but you'll see here, his Del Torso, he had bigger, I think those are Del Rio. This is a Del Rio figure. We just, he painted the gear and painted it all up nice. It's a pretty sweet little gig there. I think the arms look better too. The more jacked arms, they are single jointed there, but I think this is a better representation of Tama Tonga here, and I would switch the head sculpts, but this one is not removable, I don't think. I think that one, yeah, dude. And also, it's very old. I bet I'd tear the damn beard off, but one thing I do plan on doing is I want to get a couple of these, and I'm going to do a hair replacement, so put some long hair on this head sculpt, then maybe do a face-painted version as well. So I do plan on doing some customs with this guy, and probably fixing him up completely, because I do not like the formula and things. We're going to definitely have to fix him up in different ways. I just think that the legs are too small, the arms are too small. I don't like the head sculpt all that much. We're going to try some different tweaks and stuff, but it's still cool to see this guy up next to everybody. And if you want to, we can bring in some others as well. And so here we have Finn Balor, and we do have Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. And this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, look at these thighs that are on Carl Anderson. You see how they're thicker? They are a thicker thigh mold. They just carry a lot better proportion. They allow for a lot better. And this guy was also on ball joints. So really, you could probably just take this whole half and put it on the top part of it, like torso, crack it, and put this entire thing over here. But I do like this crotch piece, how you maybe just do a leg swap, really, because I like this crotch piece. It's just, it creates a loose torso, so, or at loose waist swivel. So that'll just be some things to play around with and do, but we have some potential for the future. It's just, I hope we get a better Tama Tonga down the line, I guess. And now we're getting into Tonga Loa's accessories, and just like Solo and Tama Tonga, comes with some sort of entrance gear or removable gear, and then we do get some interchangeable hands. And for Loa's entrance vest, you do get the T on the chest, which I do like, and again, these are slightly different from Tama Tonga, so you do get a slightly different variation here, reminding me of a Black Widow or Batman Beyond or some shish, which is pretty cool, but no stripes down the side or anything, nothing on the back. You just kind of have that sort of like classic Seth Rollins entrance vest is what it reminds me of, so that's pretty cool. I do like that, but yeah, you get some smoothage, some different, rips and different, not rips, but, sculptures and things like that throughout the vest, which looks pretty good, and I think it's about all you can really ask for. I think they did a pretty solid job here, and I guess in a perfect world, the cloth goods style that Ricochet gets, or they got, with the glossy finish, with the Velcro in the front or back, I do like the way they do those, but the rubber ones aren't that bad as long as you can clasp them together. I don't think it's that big of a deal, and I like this. And then for interchangeable hands, you do get a pair of the same gloved hands we saw with Solo Sikoa, which is the mic holding version, but the same style glove hands we just saw. And just like Solo, you also get the pointer fingers or the We the One hands, which are pretty cool. And again, it's the exact same sculpt and hands as the Solo Sikoa Elite 118 figure. Alright, man, now we're getting into Tua Tagovailoa, and I don't care what you say, man. He looks like Tua. Alright, I'm an Alabama fan. I know what Tua looks like, and I think this looks like Tua. I think, it really does have a strong resemblance to Tua, in my opinion, and it kind of has a resemblance to some of the Big E figures that we've seen. But getting into this head sculpt, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't feel like it has that much likeness. I think it's okay. Yeah, dude, I'm not seeing it. I think there's I don't know if it's the eyes or what. I just don't see the likeness. I'm not a big fan of it. I do like the haircut and sculpt, though. I think that looks good. The beard looks nice and everything. I just do not like the likeness. I'm not really seeing Tonga Loa here, but going down to the torso, he does have the Mizdow torso, which I think is fine. Maybe a little bit more cut than Tonga Loa, but not bad. I do like it. He does get bigger shoulders and arms here, which is crazy to think about. Between him and Jacob Fatu, you would think that he would get bigger arms too, Jacob Fatu, but not bad. I like it. I think it's fine. We do have this new crotch piece as well. I don't think we've seen this crotch piece before, and it is featured on Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, so I think that's pretty cool as well. With the 4 black dots, I think that's pretty cool. You got the paneling down the side as well in red to go on these black legs. I think these are just Seth Rollins legs. You do get the Seth Rollins style mold with the knee pads and the black kick pads, which I think is nice. I do like that. I think that some other guys could benefit from this exact formula, and I can already see myself, whenever I have an opportunity, I see these guys at retail, or maybe I can get some on Amazon, I am going to buy multiples of these to make some different fix-ups and customs, things like that, especially, with certain projects and things like that we have going on. So I'm excited for that part of it. But as far as the back of the figure, you don't really have a whole lot. It's just, like standard torso going down. You get the black paneling, or the red paneling on the black tights with the red belt. And yeah, I mean, that sums up his gear. I did want to do it without the entrance gear on there since we've already seen that. So one thing about it too is this guy actually moves a lot better than a lot of other figures. When you have a, Mizdow torso, it's an old school torso. I say old school, it's an older school torso when you come to Mattel. So you get a solid ab crunch here because it is one of those older ones. The back's not the greatest, but he does get a pretty good move forward there. And the head sculpt surprisingly can look up and down pretty decently, and you get a little bit of head pivoting. I don't know if they're doing something inside the head sculpt to create that, because usually you guys know that you don't get a lot of head movement, so that's nice to see. But shoulders go above 90, full rotation, bicep swivel, double jointed arms as we know, wrist swivels and hinges as we always know as well. And his waist is not as tight as I'd like, but it's not, just swirly all around like Elite 23 Undertaker. But these are on ball joints, so you're going to get a really good kick forward there. He can kick out to the side, upper thigh cut. They are pinned joints. I mean, this is the newer Seth Rollins leg mold and kick pads, so the articulation here in the feel and hand is beautiful because of that reason. You get the kick pad rotation, the feet go down and up, and he does have a really good ankle rocker because it is the quote-unquote new articulation from Mattel that was implemented back at Comic-Con last year, and I'm really excited to see what they implement this year at Comic-Con as far as, every year it seems like they update their line in some way, whether it be new boot sculptures, removable head sculpts, interchangeable hands. Over the years, we've seen these things implemented, so I'm excited. But as far as figure comparisons, we've really already took a look at the new Bloodline, so I don't have a Tonga Loa custom, but we can look at some other figures. So for our first comparison, we do have the Ultimate Edition Roman Reigns, we have the Elite 118 Tonga Loa, the Elite 118 Jacob Fatu, and the Elite 118 Tama Tonga figure. And then for another fun little comparison, here we have my custom Tama Tonga, my custom Bad Luck Fale, we have the Tonga Loa Elite 118, then we have a fix-up Elite Finn Balor, and then the Elite 56 Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, just for a fun little comparison to see this figure up next to some different custom figures that you may have or you may want to create there for your action figure display. Alright man, it is time to rank Elite Series 118 from worst to best and kind of break it all down. Just because a figure comes in dead last does not mean that it doesn't have anything good about it, and just because a figure is number one doesn't mean that it's without any faults whatsoever. And really, this was kind of a hard wave to rank because I think the wave's pretty weak. I think it's a pretty weak wave. As exciting as it was for all these first time in the lines and different things, I think it's a pretty weak wave overall. When you look at it, I think that you have some worst figures of the year in this wave. You have some different things going on. I think that there are some big misses here, and we're going to get into all of that right now, but let's get into it, man. Starting out with the bottom, and we are including Nia Jax from Elite 118, and we're including the Collector's Edition John Cena in this ranking, but let's get into it, man. Starting out at the very bottom, this was pretty tough, not going to lie to you, but I did go with the Tama Tonga. I think that, head sculpt was a mess up. I think that the parts choices and the formula overall just wasn't great, and I love Tama Tonga. I am a big fan of Tama Tonga. I was ecstatic when he came in. I look forward to more of Tama Tonga in WWE, but I think that this figure lacks. I think that there are just so many improvements that can be made upon his figure, and I think that this is definitely the one that makes me the most disappointed, that I just wasn't happy with overall execution-wise. So Tama Tonga is coming in at the bottom, and that saddens me because I really like Tama Tonga a lot. I really do, but I just couldn't look past some of the faults. I think this guy is pretty jacked up. There's so many things that I would do to fix him, and that is what I'm thinking there for Tama Tonga. I mean, you throw in even like loose, I think the loose waist thing is going to be a problem across the board. I don't think that's just mine. You can't even, I'm not even adding in the misplaced boot that we got from the factory. I think that this guy just needs to be better. But anyways, moving on to the next one, I did go with the Nia Jax figure. I don't think this is a bad figure, but, like all things considered for Nia Jax, it's the first Nia Jax with double jointed knees, I'm pretty sure, or it may not be the first one, but one thing about it is she does have that damn thing where the leg kicks forward and back, which you guys know that's one of my biggest pet peeves in the world, but I think it is a nice representation of her. I like all the sculpts and everything like that going on. It's pretty, like movable outside of the damn leg that's stuck stuck right here. I think if I took that leg off and put it back on, it would fix. But I don't know. It's a solid figure. I do like the black and white gear and everything, and I'm not really a big Nia fan, so you guys know that if she's coming in over Tama Tonga, you guys know that it must be pretty decent there. So we do have that. Coming in at the number 4 spot, and I can't even believe this guy even got this high, to be honest, because of how bad I despise some of these things. Solo Sikoa. You guys know this figure is not very good. It's not very good, all things considered. The Muhammad Ali leg mold. I think the Muhammad Ali leg mold is the thing that really sets this guy back. I think from the waist up, he's pretty good. I like that we got a different take here. Not a big fan of the suit jacket and everything like that, but overall, pretty good representation of the character, things like that, and everything. So, you know, and I can move the leg, unlike Nia over there. So I think that overall, Solo looks pretty solid and is a pretty good representation of him, even though I despise that Muhammad Ali leg mold. Solo did escape here with the number, what is it? Is it number 4 ranking? That's crazy. But moving into the number 3 ranking, man, and honestly, if they had given us this figure exactly how it needed to be, it would probably be number 1. But since it was missing a lot, I did go with the collector's edition John Cena. Now, we made a whole video about upgrading this guy. We gave him the t-shirt, we gave him the title, we gave him the gun. So he came naked with a damn trench coat and a hat, and it's basically the elite equivalent of the Ultimate Edition, which is fine with me. I do love this era of Cena. It's my favorite era of Cena. It's one of my favorite gears ever. WrestleMania 22 is legitimately one of my favorite gears. That Ultimate Edition Series 10, that's one of my favorite all-time Cena gears. But they didn't give us the shirt, they didn't give us the title, they didn't give us the gun, and it was like, oh, here's that moment, but it's like, you're missing half of the damn shish, so how is this the moment? So that is what dropped him down. But even stripped naked, hiding behind pillars in a damn parking garage, he is still much better in execution than what we've seen of these previous 3. And that's why I think this wave is pretty shish, to be honest with you. Or not shish, the whole thing, but it's kind of lackluster, man, and we're going to continue to talk about it. Now we're getting into 2 and 1, and coming in at number 2, I did go with Tonga Loa. I think that the Tonga Loa figure is not bad. I don't like the likeness. I think the head sculpt is a miss. I don't think it really looks like the character, but from the neck down, everything else is pretty damn smooth. I like the parts choices. Very good feeling hand, good posability. I like the entrance vest. Solid first Tonga Loa, even though it's not perfect. It's still, I would rather post him around than the rest of these and things like that, like closer execution, things like that, better representation of the character. But then number 1 is got to go to Jacob Fatu himself. And the thing is I don't think this guy's perfect either, man. I mean, I think that the formula could be different. I think the shoulders and arms should be bigger. I think that he is going to have better figures down the line. I don't really care for the boots, but at the end of the day, this figure excites me. It was still fun to shoot. I still had fun posing him around as much as I dislike it, and he has a loose arm. So again, I'm not even counting that QC issue right there. It still was probably my favorite figure in the set. I had the most fun with it. It was, you know, I think that it gets me out of the bed in the morning in terms of the whole wave versus the rest of them. And, you know, I think that it's a solid execution in terms of getting it in hand and posing around. It's a lot better than I expected. And the only thing really holding this guy back is the shoulders and arms, mainly. I still think the legs are a little skinny, and the boots, they're using these massive Cody Rhodes feet, which I don't like. However, I still think it's the best figure in the set, which again kind of lends itself to how bad this wave really is overall. It's not a very good wave overall. And you can let me know what you think overall down in the comment section below. But that's what I feel about this. I think that there were a lot of misses here. Maybe these guys were rushed out. I'm not entirely sure. But different parts choices, different formulas, different things execution-wise in this wave, I think was pretty weak overall. I think Elite 118 so far is easily the worst set of the season. Easily the worst set of the year. And you can let me know what you think of that down in the comment section below. But it was fun to rank these, see what they're about. Check out the Elite 118 new Bloodline. But Jacob Fatu's definitely the best figure in this wave. And will he end up on the top 25 Elites of the year? We'll have to rein it all in and see, man. But that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video of the new Bloodline Elite 118 Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa figures, man. But I'd love to know all of your thoughts down below, as well as what you think and if you own any of these figures, man. But I'm about to head off to the gym. I appreciate you guys so very much, and a huge shout out to our Patreon members, man. I appreciate all you fellas so very much. Thank you for everything, man. You guys are absolutely incredible, and I appreciate you so much. But I'm getting the hell out of here. Leave me all of your thoughts. I'll see you guys in the next one. We have a surgery video coming up that should be fun, but I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.